It's been a year, Daddy.
Hi, yeah, so I'm sorry this video took like 5 years to come out, but it hasn't been too bad, right? Right. Regardless, I'm back from my 5 year hiatus, and new videos will be coming out. I'm not gonna make any more promises because you know what happens when that happens. But the channel's back. I'll be uploading more frequently than like a 5 year gap. So, let's get into this. So the topic for today's video is fossil Pokemon. Now, fossil Pokemon are not very well known Pokemon in the Pokemon community, but I think it would be an interesting topic to rank every fossil Pokemon, every fully evolved Pokemon. It would take way too long if I discuss their pre-evolutions. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, starting off, my least favorite fossil Pokemon, to the surprise of like 5 people, is Caracosta. See, I just think Caracosta doesn't look the best. It's not like really its fault because it's not like bad, but like it's just like my least favorite out of all of them. I mean, looking at its stat spread, it's not very good. I don't like it when Pokemon are too defense heavy, which means they have like 0 special defense. But there is one thing that comes out of this. Its pre-evolution is Tortuga, and there's one thing that matches with it. You put a head on it. For those who know, they know. Next up is Omastar. Now, Omastar, I just always thought looked freaky. You know, I could find some original images of it that made it look pretty cool, but I just thought it always looked a bit funky, But I think it looks okay, but looking at its stat spread, it's actually pretty decent. It's good special attack, good defense, and like mediocre special defense, which is not what I would use, but it's better than nothing. My favorite part of Omastar has to be its red and blue sprite. Look at this guy. He looks so fabulous and ready to defeat any enemy. Maybe not in a Pokemon battle, but particularly in a dance battle. Next up, we have Bastiodon. Now, I've never actually played a Sinnoh game, so I had never the chance to use any Sinnoh Pokemon besides in my most recent Scarlet playthrough, but I just think that it could have been better. Looking at its stats, it's really defense heavy. It's kind of like Shuckle. It just sticks around for a while, and then you gotta put statuses, but how the hell are you gonna put statuses and learns no status moves? Also, particularly, I think it looks a bit goofy. It would have been cool as a cool typing, but I'm just not the biggest fan of it. Next up, we have Arctozolt. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Arctozolt. It's my least favorite of the Galar fossils, mainly because I just don't like how it looks that much. It's a bit too beefy. Looking at its stat spread, I think it's good in defense-wise, not good offense-wise. Has basically equal attack and special attack, which doesn't make it very good in general, which makes you have to make it worse in special attack intentionally, which I just don't like. Next up, we have Kabutops. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Kabutops, I preferred picking the Helix fossil every time. I was able to find some images of Kabutops looking cool, and other images of it looking like an arrow. But its stats are actually really good. It's one of the first fast, actually the first fast fossil with decent, attack, and it's actually pretty good. Next up, we have one of the most, if not the most forgettable fossil, being Armaldo. Now, Armaldo is pretty cool. Bug Rock is not a good typing, but it's not bad, so I'm gonna roll with it. Looking at its stats, it's actually really got on an offense, and defense is middling, and the rest is bad. But I will say that its 3D model makes it look really good. Next up, we have a reason why fossils being rock type only until Gen 8 was really weird. This thing should have been poison grass, other than grass rock, but whatever. Cradily is actually pretty cool. I think it's not bad, but it's not the best. Its stats are okay. It's good special defense, okay defense, and the same offenses, so it's not the best. So yeah, I think Cradily is just overall cool Pokemon, and I think it deserves more love. Next up, we have Dracozolt. Now, I prefer Dracozolt to Arctozolt for one big reason. It is, first of all, Dragon Electric is really cool, way better than Ice Electric, but also its stats are better because it's faster, which means Bolt Beak, something I didn't mention before, has a higher chance to make it go first, unless you use Trick Room, but that's besides the point. Next up, we have Arctovish. Now, I really liked Arctovish on the day of release, but now it's a bit less on my list because, yeah, it's cool. Water Ice is actually a really fun type and destroys ground types, but I don't know. I feel like its stats are not the best. It's pretty balanced all around, and you can make it good if you use a Choice Scarf or a Choice Band and Trick Room with Choice Band and just like using Fish's Rend with Choice Scarf. Next up, we might have a surprise to some of you for being this low, being Aerodactyl. Now, I really like Aerodactyl. I think its original is really cool and a good concept, but the Mega is just holding it back. It's just studding out rocks, which is lame, but it's one of the very few fossil Pokemon to be extremely fast, and it hits very hard. And with its Mega, it hits extra hard and is extra fast and takes hits extra well. It's just all around pretty good in the stat compartment. Coming up next, we have Rampardos. I think Rampardos is just a very cool Pokemon. It's a bit funky on its head specifically, but I think it's overall cool and has a good design concept. Its stats are the worst stats I've ever seen on a fossil Pokemon ever. It's awful. It's impossible to use it. At least in competitive. In a playthrough, it's actually really good. But like in competitive, you're not going to be able to use it because its stats suck so much. Pokemon who are extremely heavy on one singular stat are not good, especially like in this case with Rampardos. It has one stat that is broken insane, and then the rest are broken insane in a bad way. To finally end off the Galar fossils, we have Dracovish. Now, Dracovish is obviously the best Galar fossil. It outclasses all of them in so many ways. Also, Water Dragon is just good, that's why Kingdra was so good, but its stats are also really good, with good speed, unlike Arctovish, and good defense, and all-around base good stats. Using Fish's Rend, it has a higher chance of going first without Trick Room, meaning that it's just gonna outspeed and destroy it, and if you set up the rain, and it's super effective, guaranteed OHKO. In third place, we have Tyrantrum. Now, Tyrantrum is the first dragon fossil, and I just think it's really cool. It's a dinosaur. How could you not like it? It's technically the first T-Rex dinosaur fossil we've ever had, and I think that's really cool. Its stats are good, good all around. It's actually really good stats and highest base stat total in a while. Most of them have just been like 495, I believe. And its typing is not the best, has a lot of weaknesses, has a lot of resistances, but those weaknesses do not make up for that. Coming in at the second place spot, we have the most controversial opinion on this list, which is Aurorus. I think Aurorus is amazing. It's easily one of the best designed Pokemon ever. It's one of my favorite Pokemon ever designed. It's my favorite ice type, and you cannot change my mind about that. And I just think it's really cool, and I don't think it deserves any flack it gets. And its stats are actually really cool. It's like Lapras in a way, but with a rock instead of water, which makes it worse, which is sad, but I guess we have to deal with it. But the reason why I like it so much is because of my sentimental attachment to it in my first Y playthrough, where I used an Aurorus instead of a Tyrantrum like everyone else. In first place, we have the best fossil Pokemon, being Archeops. I think Archeops is really cool. It's really cool. It's like a flying rock. It's a flying rock dinosaur fossil Pokemon. That's great. It has one of the highest base stat totals of a non-mega fossil Pokemon, but it's kind of slowed down in that way by having Defeatist, which destroys it. And that makes it kind of like mid, but I've never used one, so I can't say anything about that. Hello, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you for watching this video so much. If you are watching, I hope you're new, so you don't have to deal with me rambling on about me not uploading. But yeah, I didn't upload for a while, and people who watch me consistently will know, and they probably have stopped watching me. But, you know, I'm gonna upload soon after this. 2 weeks maybe, but that's just a thought. Earliest will probably be 1 week, but I'm just spitballing out here. So, see you in the next video.